congratulations for this movie. So amazing.
Thank
It was
you.
for me, like a healing process, baby.
Oh, good.
My son is 8 years old now. I forgot a lot of things, I guess. And when
Yes,
I watched the movie, I was like, I'm like seeing everything again. It's amazing.
it's true. It
Congratulations.
flashes you back to those early
Oh,
childhood experiences. My son is 9.
9.
Yeah.
I might turning 9 next month
Oh,
as
yeah.
well. Oh, I've heard that you wrote the script when you were he was a little one.
No, my daughter had just been born. I have 2. So my son,
Ah,
I had already gone through the process of becoming a new mother. I think I had probably wasn't ready to process it then. And so when I had my daughter, I think I could look back on how far I had come and how traumatic those early first months of new parenthood really were, you know? And I could look at it again with new eyes doing it a second time.
and probably forgot everything from the first one. And
Yeah, it's true. I think that's the nature of it. You know, nature gets us to forget so that we'll do it again.
exactly.
Yeah.
And how important do you think was for you writing the script during this process?
It
Was
was
so fresh in your mind.
it was a cathartic experience to write it. You know, I only had like a little bit of time every day to write, honestly, when my daughter would go down for her first nap in the morning and I would put my son in front of the TV and have like an hour or two to just focus on the script. And it became this sort of safe haven for me of like, at least when I was in my monotony of my life in that moment, I could use it all for the script and I could feel like I had a place to channel it. It felt like therapy almost, just writing the script.
Yeah, healing process for you too.
Yes. Yes, for sure.
It's amazing. And how do you think, I was curious about that, how do you think people who don't have kids watch this movie?
You know, I've had so many people who've come to screenings of this movie who say, oh, it made me think about my mom, and I called my mom right after, or I can't wait to watch this movie with my mom. I think the truth is a lot of us have that experience of sort of seeing our mother through new eyes when we become parents. And you see what your parents gave up for you, or what maybe they didn't give up, or the ways they did things right, or the way they did things wrong, or the way that they had their own pain. And when we're children, we can't really see our parents as full people. You know, that's just not part of the experience. We see them as these. My friend likes to say that we're looked at as a mix between gods and slaves. Like, our kids feel like we're just there to serve them, but we're also like the most important thing that's ever been. But as we age, we hopefully see our parents as complete human beings. And for a lot of us, that happens when we become parents. We look at our parents suddenly through new eyes. But I think this movie, hopefully for anyone who isn't a parent, or that you can look at your own parents through new eyes, and it can kind of give you that perspective on what your mother might have gone through.
Yeah, it's amazing. And how important it's for fathers also watch this movie.
Totally. I've had so many fathers watch this movie and come up and thank me and say that it helped them have perspective for what their partners have gone through. You know, I had a screening the other night at the Hamptons, and the sweetest man came up to me afterwards, and he was like, I was too embarrassed to say this in the Q&A, but I feel like this movie is more for men than for women. It felt like it was made for me to help me understand even more what my wife is going through and has been through. And I think, you know, it was so sweet. And his wife was like, no, he was a good dad, but it's true. He couldn't understand everything I went through. And I think it's a good conversation starter anyway.
Yeah, that scene that he was with his cell phone in the restaurant, giving a shower for the baby. I was like, it's the same for every single dad.
I know. I know. It's
The first thing I told my husband yesterday was, you have to watch this movie
yeah,
because, for you too.
exactly. I know. There's parts of it that made my husband a little pissed off because he was like, okay, you're just writing about me and it's a little bit rude. Like, come on.
And tell me about working with these two beautiful kids.
Aren't they the
Three.
sweetest? You know, they'd never acted before, and we found them through our casting process, and I met them at a park and played with them, and they just were these, like, I didn't want to cast little actors, you know, who knew how to. I wanted kids who really played and were playful and were fun, and these kids, Arlie and Emmett, they are just incredible. They turned 3 on our first day of our camera test, and so they were just barely 3. And, they were so present in every moment of everything we were doing. And luckily, we had parents all throughout I'm a mom, Amy's a mom, Scoot's a dad, our DP Brandon is a dad, our AD Jonas is a dad, Karen, our production designer, is a mom. It was like all of these parents all around. So we made the set really fun and safe for them and a place where they could really play. And we made every scene into a game. It was like trying to come up with a new prop they could play with, or maybe you can measure this before she walks over to this side of the room, or maybe you can, whatever it is. It was like we always had to come up with a new little game in order to make the scenes work. It was a group effort.
Yeah, I think it's hard. Kids and dogs together, I think it's hard to direct.
Rarely together. We only had one scene where the kids and dogs were in the same scene. But yes, it was a lot of, like parenting. You can plan and then it will never go quite to plan. You got to let go a little bit once you get there.
It's amazing. And only to finish, what people should take away from this movie?
I hope that people who are going through either parenting themselves or considering being parents, I hope this makes them feel less alone in that journey. I think we don't talk so much about some of these experiences. And I know for myself, I wished I had known more about what it would really be like to be a mom when I became a mother. You can never really tell somebody, but the more honest conversations I've had with my girlfriends about our experiences, the less alone we all feel. And I think we can all relate to that feeling also of aging and feeling like we have nothing to add to a conversation, or we don't know how to socialize anymore. And so I just hope that it makes people laugh and makes them feel a little less alone.
Laugh and cry. I did a lot. Thank you so much. Congratulations again. It is amazing. I love it.
Oh, good. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.